Thanks everybody for being here. I'm Sandy Shook. This is Sips and Stories. I am here at Humble Coffee. Thank you very much for Humble Coffee for donating the space for us to be able to have the show. I am here with Lang. And Lang, if you can explain, introduce yourself and let people know who you are.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me today, Sandy. My name is Lang Netzler. I have a private practice here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. I am a provider of acupressure therapy and somatic trauma therapy. So acupressure is acupuncture with no needles, no drugs, to help with all types of pain head to toe. And somatic trauma, that's a fancy word for suppressed emotions that manifest as pain and health issues. And I'm grateful to be here.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. So I actually have a lot of personal questions so people can get to know you as well as your business. And first question is are you originally from Colorado?
No, I am not. So I'm born in Cambodia during the Pol Pot regime. There was a civil war. According to Google, it is the #1 mass genocide in world history. 1.5 to 3 million people, they were having a hard time estimating, I guess. 1.5 to 3 million people were killed during that time frame. And that's the time frame that I was born in. We were able to escape. I'm a refugee and an immigrant. So the weird, a little fun fact is we were supposed to go to France. So my maiden name is with a Y, Yin. And so by the time they get to Y, France was completely full. And so they closed all refugees, accepting refugees. And so we were stuck in the Philippines without knowing where we're going. But the United States, the UN of the United States found a way to open up and put our name on the list. And so therefore my family were accepted to Houston, Texas. That is where we landed.
Wow.
First time here in the United States.
Holy cow. So how long have you been here then?
Forever. So,
what made you come to Colorado then from Houston? Okay, I know. I mean, really, I know I wouldn't want to stay in Houston. That's all I know.
So that is the story that I'm planning to write an autobiography so I can pass it down to my daughter, pass down the information of my family how did we land in Houston, how long we stayed there. We actually moved to a little teeny tiny town called Brownwood, which is at the heart of Texas. And if you drive and blink, you missed it. And that's how small it is. And then with family dynamics, my dad somehow got a job offer in Denver, Colorado.
Wow.
I didn't even know where Colorado was at that time. It's like, where are we going? And how do you know? Who? What? So he took the whole family and moved us to Denver, Colorado. And I've been here since 4 years old because I remember kindergarten. And it was not a fun time. Because not knowing the language much, and it was just a little bit challenging to be the only Asian that was there.
Wow.
Stick out like a sore thumb.
Yeah, I bet.
But yes.
How did you get to learn English then? Did you do what most people do? They watch cartoons and...
Yes.
What's the TV show that I think that there's a lot of them that, people watch to learn? I don't know. But anyway.
I don't remember. So TV is my #1 education. I watch movies, drama movies, like Korean drama, Chinese drama, all dubbed in Cambodian, because my parents work 24/7. And so I retain my language based on watching shows that are dubbed in Cambodia. And for English, the same thing. I was watching cartoons, and I'm picking up the English language. And then at school, to tell you the truth, I can't remember when I actually pick up and be comfortable with the English language. I do remember my poor brother, though, because they were very hard on him. They put him in ESL classes. They put him in this because they're saying that he doesn't know English. But learning was a learning curve, and I can't remember when I started communicating in English versus Cambodian.
Wow. So did you know in second grade or in your grade school years what you wanted to be when you grew up, or did you want to go back home?
I don't remember home. I do have small memories, like just clips of memories of Cambodia. And I do have memories of the Philippines. I don't have much of Houston unless it was Houston. I didn't know the location. It was Houston or Brownwood. I do remember, I think it's either 4th grade or 5th grade, there was a question on a homework assignment. What do you want to be when you grow up? And I have no idea why I wrote down scientist. I remember writing down scientist because I want to do something in the scientific world. I don't know what it was. I don't remember exactly what inspired me to become a scientist, but I do. It was a negative memory though, because at that time I wrote down scientist, and my teacher goes, "There's no such thing as a scientist. It's like
Really?
you have an unrealistic dream." She gave me the piece of paper for me to write something else, and what did I do? With my rebellious attitude, I wrote down scientist again. It was like,
Good for you.
I couldn't come up with anything else besides a scientist. I don't know why, but yeah.
Wow.
And now I'm
That's amazing.
in the science world.
Yes, you are. So did that change though from your grade school years into high school? Or obviously, I mean, because I know people that have all their life, they've known what they wanted to be. You know, I'm still trying to figure it out.
I think you already landed.
Yes, I think I
what you
did.
plan to be. You're a talk show host.
Yes, yes.
And you have a passion for being a talk show host.
Yeah.
I don't know. So at that time, I don't know how that word came to my mind, really. I like when I saw laboratory and experiments and finding out things like that you can experiment, things like you do in a hypothesis, and you can do things to rather prove or debunk the hypothesis. It's just the idea, the concept of that was intriguing. But whether that carried on, have no idea, because I remember in high school, because they asked that question again. When in high school, before you go to college, is what do you want to be? And my parents go be a doctor, go be a doctor. So a doctor was on my mind. I got a scholarship to MIT, so an engineer was an option. But I did not understand what an engineer was at that time. And I didn't have a mentor. That's one of my, I wish I had a mentor who told me, okay, this is what a doctor is, this is what an engineer, this is what a scientist is. And somehow the back of my mind is something with life. I want to do something with life. And so biology it was. So I got a scholarship to University of Colorado in Colorado Springs to go for my bachelor's degree in biology. So when I went in, and then they offered me another one. They go, there's biotechnology, biochemistry, that's laboratory work. I'm like, maybe that's it. So I double major in biotechnology, biochemistry because of the laboratory work that I wanted to do. And then after college, the goal was, and then my mind shifted. It's like, okay, maybe I want to be a doctor and a research and do some type of research for helping people with their life ability, whether it's pain. I didn't know if I want to help people with pain at that time. I just know I want to do something with people's lives to help them. And so, but that derailed. So my goal was to become a doctor. I went to pre-med program. I graduated, but my parents called out. So my parents are restaurants. They're entrepreneurs in the restaurant. They've been opening restaurants in Texas. They opened 2 restaurants in Texas, and they opened 2 restaurants here in Colorado Springs. And at that time, with their first restaurant, no, they were already on their second restaurant, and it was not doing so well. And they were having a hard time with employees. And then they asked me, will you come help us so that we don't go bankrupt? We are chasing the American dream. We're trying to work as hard as we can. And now their dream is falling apart. And you can't say no. When your parents have gone through so many things and they ask you to help the time of their life that they need you the most, it's like, okay, I have to drop everything and went and helped my parents at their restaurant. So helping them with my restaurant was the journey in restaurant management, because after they sold it, it was doing very well. And it was the perfect time to sell the restaurant for a profit. So they did. And then they're like, well, now what? I'm over here. Well, now what about me?
Yeah.
I had this pathway of becoming a medical doctor and then going to the research field. And now that's not my mind. My mind at that time was I missed my opportunity. I'm not current, up to date with the information. So I felt defeated, and I felt that I just have to stick. Restaurant was the only field I can stick to.
How long were you in the restaurants then?
I was in the restaurant field for 10 years.
Wow.
So with my family, it was 4 years. And then I went on And Panda Express, I applied to be a manager with Panda Express. So I was with them for 10 years, and I was on track to be an area manager for Colorado Springs. I was their opening manager, so every time there's a new Panda Express, I was the person to go and help build it from ground zero to up to operation. And then when it makes its profit, when there's the next Panda Express build up, I will move to the next and build a team there.
Wow, that's a form of accomplishment right there.
Yes.
I mean, that's huge to take on something like that and to build. I mean, you obviously learned some great things through your parents with building something from ground zero to profitability.
They have grit, determination, and I would have to say they have financial smartness or sassiness, financial management, because coming to the United States, they had zero money. And they start working, picking up trash on the highway for 50 cents an hour.
Oh, wow.
That was their wage back then, up to owning businesses, 2 businesses in Texas. Then they moved to Denver and moved here to Colorado Springs and owned 2 businesses. And today they are debt-free. They own their car, they own their home. And they set the blueprint for me, for my brother and I to follow so that we are not in debt, that we can be profitable from zero to success. So the restaurant field, everything, however, that changed. And then I got an opportunity to work for the Air Force. There was an application that allowed me to apply. And I have to say, it was by God's grace, it dropped in my lap that I got a job as a civilian contractor for the Air Force Academy, for the Civil Engineering Department, and for the laboratory. And so it's like, oh, look, I'm going back to the laboratory.
Yeah.
I'm going to be a scientist after all, without the degree, even though I have a biotechnology degree. But so I'm going to fast forward that is the stepping stone. So my parents now are retired, both are disabled, multiple health issues. So I became a caretaker for my parents. And then after surgery, so my dad has leg edema and has chronic, he can't stand because he's a cook at a restaurant. So if you can't stand and cook, you can't have a job. So he became disabled. And then my mom, she worked with Panda Express as well as their lead counter help. So she had spinal decompression surgery, and she became disabled because of back surgery. And then, so them taking care of them. So then with all their pain, I would like research and Google and Yellow Pages of all the specialists I can take them to so they can feel better. But it's the cycle that got me again. Is like, okay, after surgery, they're still in pain. After all these prescription meds, they're in pain. It's like, there is something wrong with this picture. And so I put out the prayer, and I don't know, I think my mind or my mouth has a mind of its own on that day. And I prayed for me to find a specialist who cares and who's good enough and not spend only 5 minutes per client or per patient. And then because I couldn't search for any other words, like, why not me? And then I come back to myself. It's like, why not me? Why don't I have the knowledge to take care of my parents with their pain, to help them with their pain? Yeah, I didn't know what I was saying.
Yes.
I
don't think any of us do when we're praying. Sometimes it's just kind of like, God, help me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Basically, after that, it's like,
Yeah.
I don't even remember what I said after that. All I know is like, I just need help. And little did I know, did not even think about how that came about, that at a networking group, I met the director of the touch therapy school.
Wow.
That changed the direction of my life. Because before then, I had a good job. Work as a government contractor, civilian contractor. I get a paycheck that pays for the bills. I have health insurance. So the idea of going back to school to start something else, that was a dumb idea. I told my mom.
Well, in your mind, it was a dumb idea.
Yes.
But
everybody else as well. Like all my family members. Like my mom. I told my mom, I'm going to go back to school. She looks at me and is like, why? You dumb? It's like, you have a good job right now. You're working with the government. You have health insurance. You can go and it's a good copay. What are you doing? And then, of course, I told my husband. And my husband's like, we're a 2-income family. What are you going to do with that idea? I don't know. I'll keep my job. I'll keep both jobs. So all the ideas in my mind, So I did. I kept my job, though. I kept my daytime job and went to school at night. And because private practice was never in my goal, my goal was to learn something to help my parents with their pain. So in class, every time they talk about, okay, in your private practice, this is what you do, I tune it out. It's like, yeah. I don't need to learn about how to run a private practice because that's not my goal. I don't see myself doing that. Or maybe, well, if I'm going to do something in this field, I'll probably work for somebody else. So
so I'm not, you can tell me I'm going to be in my own business, but nope.
No, like the idea of being an entrepreneur, even though it's in my blood because of my parents and my
Well, maybe
grandparents.
that's why, because they struggled. That's maybe the subconscious that you were like, I am not going to struggle like them.
Yes, that is point on because I've seen them working in the restaurant. They will go in a couple hours early to prep for the restaurant, stay a couple hours late to clean up and then prep for the next day and have like 4 hours of sleep and then repeat. And I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yes.
I want a corporate job where I can sit in, clock out, have benefits, have a paycheck. That sounds good. Private practice? Yeah, no.
And fast forward then to, when did you quit your full-time corporate job? I think that you and I met when you were still working your corporate job. Or maybe, because you were still trying to figure out, if you needed to take that leap. And I'm like, just take it.
But I'm scared. I don't want to leave. What if I drown?
Yeah.
It has a story in itself that I can write a book about that. So it's during 2020, COVID timeframe. So as a alternative provider, modality provider, I'm into natural stuff. And then I went back to school to do acupressure therapy and trauma therapy, which is the natural stuff, no drugs, no anything. And so my mindset is like the body can heal. I can find natural stuff. I'm going to go and find out the herbs and stuff to help with the body. A vaccine is, I don't know how the topic is. The vaccine, when I take it, like the flu vaccine, I get an adverse reaction. And so having a degree in biotechnology, biochemistry, vaccine is not something that I would like run and jump and put inside my body. So then when COVID hit, and when they have a vaccine within 6 months, and there's so many vaccines out there that has not cured anything, I'm like, I'll wait and I'll watch. I'll watch how it affects people's body. But however, there was an executive order for all government personnel. It's a mandate vaccine.
I forgot about that. I don't know why I would forget about that. I worked at Oracle, and that was one of the things, too.
So that was a huge moment in my life because while I was there doing my daily job, checking on the laboratory stuff, I got a phone call from my program manager. Lang, we have not received your vaccine form, or we're going to post your position. I'm like, say what now?
Wow.
So, of course, my defense goes up, my rebelliousness goes up, my walls goes up. It's like, hold on, you did not ask me about my religious exemption because that is the card I'm going to play. He goes, oh, yeah, you can turn that in too. So comforting. It was so comforting. So then, of course, my mind started racing. It's like, no, the idea that a corporate job is stable, a corporate job is secure, a corporate job will give you the income that you're looking for. Now everything is crashing with that idea that a corporate job is very protective. Every single walls about that idea of having a corporate job just starts falling. And of course, stress and anxiety in my mind, it was like my head was about to explode. It's like, what am I going to do about this? Because right now, if that's the mandate, it doesn't matter what job I apply for, they're just going to ask that question. And so one side of me, I was writing my religious exemption and praying that is what's going to hold my job. But then the other side, so my mind is always like thinking about contingency plans. It's like, okay, worst case scenario, what if I do lose my job? Because I have friends who are contractors and I have friends who are in high positions and high paying positions. They submit to that order and they wouldn't get the vaccine just to keep their job. For me, it was a struggle. It's like, okay, I have lived my life not to settle, not to struggle. And of course, I made mistakes. It's like, oh man, I settled. I didn't mean to do that. But here was a very important decision. It's like, so then I put a prayer. It's like, all right, I've never thought about a private practice. This is the time. But at that time, I had like 3 clients. That is not going, because of, I worked full time, and then I saw clients only 1 or 2 days, two nights. So there's not much room for like a whole boatload of clients. And so I only had like 2 or 3 who were consistent. So at that time, it's like, okay, God, 3 clients will not pay the bill. What am I going to do? I need you to get me some type of referral, some type of pipeline, something to give me a little bit security that maybe I can launch this private practice full time, maybe. And I did. So from meeting with friends that I know of, they go, Lang, there's this company called A Cognitive Connection, and I'm grateful for that company, that they are looking for counselors to take on some of their clients. I'm like, all right, is this it? Is this not? So I submitted, put in my application, got my interview, and to be an independent contractor. So basically, the way it was set up is that she has her organization. She has clients with developmental disabilities, and they're on a Medicaid waiver, but she contracts out services to counselors out to help with those services. So mine is trauma therapy. So she doesn't provide trauma therapy, so she outsources it. And so that is what I applied for, to take all her outsource for trauma therapy. And at that point in time, she goes, you might get 2 or 3 clients per month for that. It's like, that's not a bad idea. But that's not a bad idea.
Okay, let me see.
So then the 3 plus now, 3 plus for her. So that would be 6 to start off. So I started that off. And then like 4 or 5 months later into that relationship, I'm like, I think this is good. I think that might be it. So I got my courage and put in my 2 weeks notice. Actually, I was nicer than that because I love my team. I give them a 2 months notice.
Wow. And they let you stay for 2 months then?
They go, we need you.
Yeah.
Like the position that I'm in, I took care of the laboratory at that time, the wastewater treatment plant laboratory. And they have yearly annual passing of this exam that you have to pass. In their history, they have those who did not pass. I passed it on the first year. And
Of course you did.
Of course I did. So I knew what I was doing. And so they go, yeah, if you're gone, because if I'm gone, then the lead of the plant have to drop what he's doing and take that position. So he goes, yes, we will take every single day of that 2 month. And so, so I put in instead of getting fired. But by that time, here's the thing though, by that time, the executive order, the Supreme Court already took down that executive order. So when I put in my notice, my program manager goes, we weren't going to eliminate your position.
Well, the threat alone.
It was like, sure.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, here's my notice.
Yeah.
And I will be done. And so it was very, very nerve-wracking.
Yes.
To put in that notice, to jump in and launch my own private practice, and to start, because when I did that, of course, now my schedule is nice and open. I have 6 appointments on my calendar, my schedule. I'm like, what am I going to do? There's too much, there's so many things. So I started networking, started getting myself known to the world. And that's how my journey started to my private practice.
So you also previously had actually described your main why, of course, your parents, but tell everybody really what acupressure therapy, what it really means. Exactly what is it that you do, the modalities that you work in, because I think that it's not, people have a misconception of what you really do. And it's not just a normal type of therapy. It's not, I don't know. But anyway, I'll let you answer the question instead of me continue to ask the question.
It is, because even if I enunciate acupressure therapy, they go, oh, acupuncture. Oh, I don't like needles. Oh, I love acupressure. I know what it is. So then I would yes, it is like acupuncture, but no needles. So I had to say that no needles with an accent on it. And then wait, did you say no needles? It's like, yes. So the idea is So everybody knows acupuncture. Everybody knows. Well, let me explain what acupuncture is first. So Asian medicine, Eastern medicine knows something about energy highways of the body. So the body has energy highways from the toes to the head to the fingers. And acupuncturists search that energy meridians, and then there's certain spots on that energy meridians that are congested or stuck. And so they would put the needle there. So if something is stuck or it's causing the person pain, they would put a needle there to dissolve the congestion. Now, the congestion can be a physical congestion, whether it's as a constriction of the blood vessel in that area or a pooling of energy in that area, or something is going on in that area, physically or energetically. They put a needle in to dissolve it. And so that idea is the same with
your fingers.
Yes. So acupressure is all about fingers. So I have a client who asked me, is acupressure better than acupuncture? So every modality have their strengths and weakness. It's not about, is this one better or is this one worse? Or what can this person, is it a wrong choice? It is each modality will do certain things and will help with pain in a different layer and a different level for the body. And so when it comes to me putting my hands on the person's body, a needle will go in and will work its magic. But the hand can work a different magic because I can feel all the body, the way the body responds to the touch. Is the tendons, the muscle, is it full of energy? If it depletes of energy, is it like a Grand Canyon where I can go all the way down to the depths of the valley because there's no energy? Or is it because it's nice and rigid and hard when I touch that meridian because it's so saturated and it's stuck there and nothing is moving? And if the muscle, is the muscle nice and tight or is it nice and soft and it's very, very resilient and bounce? And so how does the body react when I touch the body? And so using that same acupressure point, so going back to the energy meridian, and we look at the interstate, I-25. I-25 have the exits. There's the Bijou exit, there's the Woodman exit. So you exit Woodman, you go to this part of the city, and it goes to like the Academy and all the way to Powers on this north part, and you go all the way down. So the body is the same way. You have energy meridian, that's our energy highway, and there are exit points that goes off to organs and body systems. And so if you know the map of the body, just like the map of Colorado Springs, if you know the map of Colorado Springs, you can get here, here, or here. And same thing with I-25, if there's a congestion. Let's say there's a traffic accident on I-25. It will cause some type of traffic issue. Mm-hmm. Maybe there's a supply to this restaurant and cannot get there and it's going to delay. Now this restaurant is going to have some pain points. It's not going to have its food. Customers are going to be mad. And so the symptoms of the restaurant, they're not the root cause. The root cause is that I-25 is blocked and the supply truck cannot get to it. So the same idea with the energy highway of the body is that there are symptoms here, here, and here. And once you locate the symptoms and say, okay, which part of the energy highway is blocked, that's where you worked on it to relieve that. So therefore, when you relieve this, indirectly, it relieved that. And so the same concept of the cause and effect and how to help. So going back to the energy meridians of the body, that's where acupressure goes, is find out. I collect, so in my intake form, I collect data, health history data on the person, analyze it to find out which are the possible root cause. And then there's parts of the body that I can do an assessment as well. So like doctors, when you go to doctors, they do blood work, they do tests, they do x-rays to find out where they go next. And the same thing with the person's body. There are hara points, which is a Japanese word for the abdomen, and which is the major intersections of all the energy highways that I can check on to find out which liver, which body system needs help. And then I go on from there.
Wow. So does everybody understand that? It's a highway.
It's a highway.
Yes. So what's the power of emotional regulation? So you did talk about that, just how the body, I know that there are different ways of treating just even subconscious issues, which I may or may not have.
which is for everybody. Everybody may not have. So embrace emotion. One of my conference that I do is I'll call Embrace Emotion. That gave me the aha. It's like emotion is the key to regulate the person as a whole and to dissolve trauma. And so there's this core message that I have: suppressed emotions manifest as pain. And it's even, we're going to go back to Eastern medicine. Eastern medicine connects emotions and organs. And so the energy highways, each one is managed by an organ, and each organ managed an emotion. The easiest one to talk about, liver and anger. So one thing that's popular and known here in the Western world, like an alcoholic, and when you say, oh yeah, this person is an alcoholic and has anger management issue, people go, oh yeah, like we know. They don't like question it. They don't like, oh, I want proof on that. They just say yes. Yeah. So the idea that emotions are balancing the organs. And so let's take an alcoholic. If they are drinking alcohol that's destroying the liver, they're destroying their ability to handle anger. When one thing is
I would never have thought of that. Wow.
Right. So if the person doesn't have the strength or the mental ability to manage anger without liver support, then that person anger can run their life.
Wow.
And so we have liver and gallbladder with anger. We have like stomach and spleen that helps with stress and anxiety. And so if we eat foods that are not nourishing to the stomach, that's not nourishing to the spleen, food that's not nourishing to the body, the organs can be not supported, can be weak. And so when they're weak, the emotions that they're like managing, those emotions could take over the body. So now let's go to embrace emotion. So one thing about the culture that we live in, and I think it's diverse for all cultures, all family. There are some, like in my family, you don't show your emotions. In the Asian culture, it's like, oh, why are you crying? Why are you so happy? Because I remember, like I was happy one time and I was told, you're too happy.
Oh,
And and of course, it's like for my family, I don't want to say, of course, like there are times when I'm not happy. It's like, why are you crying? Why are you showing your tears? So suppressing those emotions does not help with the organs function. And so now one of my movement is to say, hey, we need to start embracing emotions again. All emotions are normal and acceptable. It's how we handle it is the difference. Like anger. Anger is normal. It is an emotion of humanity. If you're human, you will feel anger. But how are you going to handle that anger? Are you going to go and go to a corner and sit with the anger and feel how the anger is affecting your body? Or you can go and start being mad at everybody, throwing things and hurting yourself and hurting other people. So, embracing emotion. So I have exercises and protocols and things to help the person to start embracing emotion. And actually I do have it's called the Japanese holding acupressure point on the fingers to help. It's a simple self-care technique to help people embrace emotion.
Do you want to share that?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because when we embrace emotion, when we hold it, it not only gives comfort, it's basically self-love. It comforts our own organs, our own body system, our own whole being. Said, I am here for myself, and I'm going to calm down these emotions. So yeah, this is a perfect time if people want to learn finger holding. Okay.
All right.
So the thumb. So we're just going to hold it. We're going to do a simple thing. We're just going to hold our thumb.
Does it matter which one? Right
no,
or
we're going to
left?
do both. Because
okay.
the energy meridian is bilateral. So it's on both sides of the body.
Okay.
So we're going to do both sides. So we're going to hold the thumb. So right here, just for example, we're just going to hold it. And you want to hold, when you have time, you want to hold it until you feel a pulse. Then that's when you go to the next one. And then you go to the next one. Now, let me tell you what the thumb. So according to your cheat sheet, the thumb helps with worry and anxiety. So the meridians will go and end at the thumb, and they'll exit the fingers, and they exit the toes. And they exit, and they have endpoints on the body parts of the shoulder, the clavicle area, and the neck area. But we're only going to do the hands, though. So the thumb, when you're holding the thumb, you're helping with worry and anxiety. And you can hold it until you feel a pulse.
So next time I'm in a networking group, I want to just, when you see me holding my thumb, don't think I'm stressed.
Well, no, by the time they say you're done,
Right,
it's all
right.
cleared.
Yes.
It's all cleared. Now, the index finger. So once you feel a pulse, a nice stable pulse, you go to the index finger. And at the index finger, you're helping with fear, the bladder and the kidneys. So you're helping to stabilize and energize the bladder and the kidneys. Fear. So the physical component, the organs, when the organs are affected, it has symptoms. When people have bladder issues, when people have kidney issues, that tells me when they come into my office that they might have chronic fear. Maybe they're afraid of saying something wrong. Maybe they're afraid of making mistakes. Maybe they're afraid of just making any type of decision, or afraid of not having friends, or whatever it is. Fear. Now, we're going to go to the middle finger. Which emotion would be handled by the middle finger?
Well, I'm reading your paper, and it's the same one that you do with this finger when you're getting...
And what emotion is that?
Anger.
Anger, yes. The coincidence of things, right? Anger, liver, and gallbladder. So when you're holding and waiting till there's a stable pulse, you're basically just giving comfort and energy to your own liver and gallbladder. Now, you're going to move in through the ring finger. When the organ, so how would I want to word this? It is for the ring. So when we think about the ring, what do you guys think of? And what emotion, if it doesn't go well, what emotion might go with it? So ring is all about relationships. So when relationships don't go well, there's depression and sadness. So this helps manage depression and sadness. Okay? Then we go to the pinky. Pinky is about the heart and self-love, self-esteem, self-confidence about our own self. So hold the pinky. And the center point is for the whole body, the whole being, is to balance it. You can just hold it still, you can massage it, and you can just stimulate it. And this helps your whole being. And do it both sides. Now, if you are a high achiever, you'll go to your toes as well. Because meridian goes to the toes as well.
That's awesome. So, okay, you actually just a couple months ago got back from being a speaker.
Yes.
I would love to have everybody know about that, because that just kind of came out of the blue for me, but I don't know how that happened for you.
It did. It came out of the blue for me too. While I'm over there in school, private practice, I don't need that. Speaking, never. It was never on my to-do list to become a speaker. It's not something I was like, oh, no, I don't want to be a speaker. It's just never in my thought. Never even thought about that subject at all. Mm-hmm. So when I start networking and start being part of a networking group, then they have little presentation. So my first group was PepNet, and they would assign. So we meet once a week, and every time we meet, they assign one of the members, to do a presentation about their business. So it's not like I raised my hand and signed up for it. It was automatic. I'm like, I got to speak? Really? 20 minutes? 15? I was like, okay, I can do 15. I think it's okay to do 15. So that started me learning how to speak. And I remember my very first time doing my business presentation. I would have all this information, and it's I'll condense it all into 15 minutes. And I will look at everybody we have no idea what you just dumped on us. It's oh, okay. But I'm learning. So then through the networking group, through a membership networking group, I've learned I need to present my business this way, present my business that way. And it's not until I went to a Christian networking group where they have John Maxwell as the guest speaker.
I don't know John Maxwell.
He is a very popular Christian author about leadership.
Okay.
And he is coveted by Christian networking group, and he has a high price. So just John Maxwell's, I know him. I have his books. I read some of his work. But the thing that caught me was they shared how much he make in 1 hour.
Tell me.
He makes $150,000
oh my goodness.
in 1 hour.
Wow.
I'm like, someone can make that much in 1 hour just by speaking?
So everybody, if you're thinking about being a speaker, practice makes perfect though, right?
It does. Practice makes experience.
Yeah, okay. Yes.
And so I'm
that.
just start thinking, and then go pray, God, can I speak? It's what is a speaker? What is the reality? How much can I make speaking? And of course, my mind will go into the big numbers. Like, I would love to make $150,000 an hour. I'm not quite sure how to get that point, but I did that as a almost like a joke, because it's not in my mind. It's like, oh my gosh, I can reach that. When I heard that, it was an amazing thing that he can do it. It was awesome for him. Now, for me, I'm not quite sure, because that was never on my to-do list. That was never my goal. And so I just started praying. It's like, it would be nice, God, to speak and get paid. But then also, there was an Asian, I'm part of a Asian mental health group in Denver, and then they did a summit, and they were looking for speakers. They have an
First
application.
practice.
Yes. So they have an application. Say, put in your application, and we'll choose you if we like you to come in. It is paid. I'm like, wonder what happens if I just apply. I'll just apply. And I did not, my expectation was not high to be picked. But so when I got the email saying you were picked, and that was going to be my first paid speaking engagement, because with all this networking group, it was all free, just to let people know and practice my speaking skills and let people know about my business. It was my first paid speaking. And it's like, are you kidding? This is possible? I can get paid by speaking? So that's when I was like, okay, God, this is an awesome step one. What's step two? Just wondering, just step two. So I'm still joking.
And you know what? I have to interrupt you, because you've really taught me the right way to pray, because it's like, I actually have always learned, just to say a prayer, please help me through this, but not knowing exactly what to pray. And it's amazing when we have conversations, how you just get right to the point. It's like, and God hears it, but so anyway, sorry.
So no, I like talking about prayer though. So just a little snippet about prayer. I was learning about 4D prayer. When you pray, your mind has to tap into the creativity. And because there's a scripture say to pray as if you already received it. Mm-hmm. And so in your mind, you want to pray and picture that you've already received it. So to give it a little expedite or a little boost of possibility for it to happen. So that's my mind. It's like, okay, I'm going to do a 4D prayer. And it's not my term. I didn't coin it. And a 4D prayer so that I can boost my chances for that prayer to happen. And so because of that, and so speaker has not, so I did put that prayer in. It's like, it would be nice to get paid as a speaker. And then was a Facebook group by Michelle Mraz. I know some people know who she is. She's an international speaker and an international author. And I met her 2 years ago. I don't know her very well, but I met her, but we're Facebook friends. And then she was telling me she was going to Qatar. They pronounce it as Qatar over there. That's how they pronounce it. And so she was telling about her journey. It was like she was about to go. Who wants to go with her? So I did a joke post. It's like, I will live vicariously through you. I will wait to see all your pictures. And then she goes, come with me. I'm like, I'm not quite sure what that means. I have no idea what that means.
You're looking at your pocketbook going, well,
Yeah. Because I have not been making what John Maxwell was making to go to Qatar.
Yep.
And so when that happens, like, oh, okay, God, what just happened? Am I supposed to go? Am I not supposed to go? Because this would be a leap. And so I'm like, okay, let's attempt to be still. I don't know what be still means, but I'm going to attempt to be still. And the back of my mind is like, you need to go. Find a way to go.
Yeah.
So then I went and told my husband.
And he was very supportive.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
He goes, where's that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I don't know where it is.
Yeah.
So I had to look it up on the map to know where it is, because
Right.
that is never, again, like going to the Middle East was not even on our to visit list. Mm-hmm. Or to visit list or vacation list, all the tropical area, the beaches area. Like going to the Middle East, never even thought about it. It's not like we're against it. We just never thought of it. And now it is on my map now.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. So the journey in itself there was a passport issue to get there. I was like, am I going to get my passport in time for me to even go? Checking on the tickets of the airplanes. And yes, but there was a little bit of journey there. So we did. And I was offered a speaking position in the First Lady Economic Forum of Qatar. And the First Ladies means they're the First Lady of their country. There was the host were the Princess of Nigeria, if I can say that word, and the Princess of Qatar were the host of that
Oh, how
economic
neat.
forum. And there were the Queen of Qatar was there, and there were ambassadors of different countries, like Macedonia, like Ghana, and China was there, and I forgot everybody else because I was too busy thinking about my presentation.
I was going to
instead of
say,
taking
so,
pictures.
so
No,
you know, you jumped through hoops to get there. You had your presentation already set up, and then you have to tell the story. But before you do that, I do want to actually give a shout out to Humble Coffee again for giving us the opportunity to have this show today, and just sponsoring the event, and Odell for providing the jewelry that I have right now today. But I do want to hop into the story about your presentation, because you know, we all go through different things, you know, with what we expect and then what ends up happening, and just her story alone with the presentation. And after that, then we will take questions if there's anybody in the audience that might have some questions.
So I think the summary of my life is nothing goes according to plan. Like, you know, you have this plan, okay, they're giving you a time slot to talk. It's like, how long would it be? So I've always done 1 hour presentations. And like this paid presentation was 1 hour. So it's like, okay, I'm going to prep a 1 hour presentation. And so my platform is somatic trauma, and so it's healing from within. So the title of any one of my platform or speaking engagement will be healing from within, how somatic trauma helps leaders and entrepreneurs with empowerment and resilience. And so for them, I tailor it to how somatic trauma helped them become a better leader for their country. Because the past, so my line of work is to help detach them from their trauma, embrace emotion so that they can overcome the situation, so that situation does not power them, the emotion does not power over them, that they break free from their past, break free from their emotions, and have clarity and be able to make decisions and to become a better leader of their life and of their company. And so that's the presentation I gave. And so it's like, okay, I have 1 hour, I'm going to make it a 1 hour presentation. I got there, I look at the agenda, and it's 15 minutes. I'm like, oh no, what is going to happen here? So I look at my 5-page presentation. I need to cut it down to a 1/4 page. It's like, okay. And not only that, which is great, I like the fact that I was presenting on day 1, when all the delegates were there. But then because of that, my mind was how to cut my presentation short to 15 minutes. And I did not have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with each individual delegate and take pictures and say, look at who I met. What was your name? Yeah, that's why right now I don't know their names. I don't know where they're from. I just know some of the names of the country. So at that time, I was like, okay, and then time is ticking. I was scheduled to present at 1 o'clock. And I was like, okay, I cannot eat. My stomach is stomach and spleen, anxiety and stress. It doesn't matter how many times. It doesn't matter.
I don't
how
have
many
the
times,
cheat sheet.
Right? It doesn't matter how many times I'm holding my fingers, my stomach. And then my poor husband was like, okay, I just need you to pass out my flyers to every table. I need you to do this. Because I need this. And it's like, oh. So my husband was very, very supportive. He's like, okay, what do you need me to do? I need you to go get my luggage, go get my stuff from my luggage, go pass them out while I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to shorten my presentation to 15 minutes. And then, you know, my mind is contingency, you know. I'm like negotiating. Can I have more time? It's like, hey, what's the possibility I can have more time? I was told that would put everything back. That would put all our schedule back, and it's not going to work. But the schedule was messed up anyways, because there was certain person that was going to be there that was not scheduled to be there. The right-hand man of the king of Qatar was all of a sudden was planning to show up. So they rearranged schedule anyways. So now the schedule is rearranged even more. And I have no idea where I'm going to present now. It's like, okay. And then 15 minutes.
I'm going to add a little bit more now.
It's like, what am I taking? What am I adding? What am I subtracting? And do I remember any of this?
Right.
And of course, so now I'm like, okay, so I have everything ready. Now I have been introduced. I'm going up and I have my paper and I'm looking at my paper and it's all blurry. I'm like, okay, this is going to be awesome. But page 1 because I was taking notes. Okay, do this first, and then I have arrows to page 2, and I will say this part, then I have arrows to page 6, then I'm arrow bit back. It's like, okay, I need to organize this. But I remember reading, looking at my paper, it's like, all right, whatever. And so I did my presentation. I know in my mind, I was doing this, I was going this. It's like not in the order that I have planned to be.
Life is that way though, right?
Yes. So I'm like, I think I just blew it. I blew my opportunity to make an impact in front of all these delegates who are controlling countries here. And I just messed up on a simple thing just by speaking about trauma, how trauma can help them become better leaders of their country. And I'm like, and after I talked, I'm like, I don't think I delivered anything useful at all. I asked for feedback. And to make it even worse, because I have a follow-up, I did a follow-up appointment, a Zoom call. I did a follow-up Zoom call for anybody who have questions after, since it was only 15 minutes. There's not much for me to tell. And no one showed up. And it's a follow-up phone call, follow-up Zoom meeting. It's like, well.
We've had that before too.
There's that experience. It's like, does that mean I quit now? Does that mean I continue on? But I did. I got feedback, and they go, you did a good job. So Michelle, the international speaker, she came to me, and she goes, Lane, I didn't know you could speak.
Wow.
I'm like, huh?
Yeah.
You said I could speak? I didn't rumble up like a maniac chipmunk up there on stage.
Wow.
And then day two, the princess asked me to, because they had a late start, she asked me to do she gave me an impromptu 15 minutes, do exercises to calm down the nervous system for everyone to calm down and to start the event. I was like, I got another spot on day 2. And a feedback on that one is like, you engage the audience participation and there was an author. She's in control of a global magazine, because the second day of what I did with them to help them joint exercises to help calm down the nervous system, she came up to me, she goes, I want you to write in my article.
Oh, that's great.
I want you to write pieces in my article about what you just did here on day 2.
That's so great.
Like, I didn't even plan day 2.
Yeah.
I didn't even know day 2 was going to happen.
Wow.
And so things just fell in, and
now she's an international speaker.
Yes. And now I have chance number 2.
Oh, very cool.
I've been invited to do the same thing, to speak at the First Lady Economic Forum, but now it's in Dubai.
Oh, very nice. Oh,
you get an hour this time?
Yeah.
25 minutes. I make sure I ask this time.
Yes.
It's like, let's give me some specifics.
Yes.
How many minutes do I have?
We learn, don't we?
Yes.
So I'm going to move into questions. If there's anybody in the audience that might have some questions, feel free to stand up by the little X there.
Oh, they had to stand up, huh?
Yes, they do.
Okay. Tell us how long you've known each other and how you met.
So the very first time, Sandy here, it was at a Wine, Woman, and Wealth, Money 101. It was a business presentation on financial management. And I just happened to sit next to her, and I didn't know anybody in the room. So it's one of the beginning times of me attempting to network and learning how to market my business. And like, I'm the only one here. I don't know anybody in this room. And I'm sitting next to Sandy, and she was very welcoming.
Oh.
And I was telling her about me trying to find networking groups. And then she offered me a list of networking groups that charges money, that does not charge money, that are women's networking group, that are online. And I'm like, this is so awesome. And she emailed me the list. And so when she says she's a connector, she's more than that. She's like helping, being a resource. And I learned from that. Just want you to know, it's like, that is what I want to do for other people. And I want to be a resource. And so when I see a new entrepreneur and they don't know about the network group, I share them your list of network and add the ones that I knew about. And they're like, you're so resourceful and helpful. It's like, I am just paying it forward from what Sandy did for me.
Oh, thank you. I guess that really warms my heart because I was like, oh, I don't know if I remember.
I remember because of the impact you made, because that's my first list of networking group for me to go. And it's hard. And I'm just like telling myself, okay, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go. I don't know anybody there. I might just stumble my words. And then I might waste my time, just go there and just come back empty-handed. But my mind goes, just do it scared. Just do it scared. And you have a list in your hand, just check off one by one, go to each one by one, and just do it scared.
And she constantly tells me, do it scared.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. She also came to one of the networking groups that we were trying to get off the ground in Colorado Springs. I opened it up on a Saturday morning, and Lang was one of the only ones all the time that showed up. So we became fast friends. And of course, it took me, I don't know, I told her if I ever go through therapy, she would be one that I would want to see, but I knew that if I started, I wouldn't be able to finish. I wouldn't just be one and done. So, anybody else?
I don't have a question.
Ooh, okay.
I have more of a statement, just based on watching your story, right? Hearing your story. I really enjoyed the idea, and you've been articulating it excellently, where you're like, life doesn't go where you want it to go, right? And you could get caught in your own BS, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
But you were like, hey, buddy, right?
Right.
What am I supposed to do? And you tell me, and you just go do it. And so I just wanted to say thanks again for, and I'm not necessarily a religious person, but I do believe that happens. The big man upstairs is like, hey, buddy, here you go. And if you ask for it, okay, right? So you're using, it's a growth mindset, right? But you're also recognizing that it's bigger than you, right? So I just wanted to say thanks for that.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, most definitely. All right. Well, again, everybody, thank you so much for joining us with Sips and Stories. Thank you, Lang, for sharing your story. There's plenty of more great things to learn about Lang, and we will have information for her. And thank you for the studio audience. Thank you for Humble Coffee for allowing us the space to actually film and cinemagraph media as well. Thank you very much, and we'll see you on the next story.
Well effing done.
Yeah, thank you.
Good job.
Well.